I dragged you out of your house to come over here to shoot a little quick segment here because I had some things on my mind and I wanted to get it off. So I said, well, come on, Matt, what do you think? I can just tell in your voice, but you're here, you're smiling, so you're a pro.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a pro.
Well, you're a pro. So what are we going to do? Now tell me, since
No. This is you. This is the Phil. Let's get it all big Phil's chest. All right.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And just, you wanted to discuss the Steelers quarterback situation and kind of add your 2 cents now going into preseason game 3, the finale of the preseason. Russell Wilson will get the start for this 3rd preseason game on the road against the Lions. We don't know where or how long he will play with those starters, but it is projected that him and the starters are going to take some snaps. We don't know what that will look like. And we, of course, expect Justin Fields to play as well. But go ahead, Big Phil. Air it out, man. How you feeling?
Just a couple things. It's talked about so much on TV.
Right.
And I wouldn't know this unless they tell me every single day. Did you know that Justin Fields has a different element that that's it? I mean, he's got that element. Oh, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, can't we just – a lot of things to say about it. But I think that's what really got me going, oh, my God, let's go deeper with that element. I will say this, getting off track a little bit before we go. 3 years ago or 4 years ago, whatever the time, the Chicago Bears are going to draft Justin Fields.
Right.
And if they had a coach by the name of Greg Roman, do you think that would have changed his career?
I know for a fact that it would have changed his career, yes. Because
tell me why.
I think we both agree that Greg Roman is one of the more underrated offensive minds in the NFL. Doesn't get enough credit for the work that he has done with quarterbacks like Colin Kaepernick, like Tyrod Taylor, like even, of course, Lamar Jackson and what he built with just a completely unique offense that fit Lamar's skill set at that time perfectly, and really was ahead of the curve as far as, utilizing quarterback run plays and still making it physical aspect of an NFL game instead of just like the, pro style read option, simple college style of it.
He made it fit. I think when he coached Tyrod was an all-pro, I think, right? Or made the Pro Bowl?
Tyrod was an all-pro. He was a Pro Bowler that year.
Pro Bowler, yeah. Yes. So, I think he's always gotten a bad rap. Oh, well, they're not letting Lamar throw enough. But they were slowly working their way towards that.
Right.
I think every year Lamar got more or better on hanging in the pocket, making reads, and going through the progressions, which you hear everybody talk about, but it's real. I said, let's talk about quarterbacking real quick. I'll just say this. You got to learn to drop back, feel the pocket, what to do a little bit there. It's not always escape and run for 5. And, oh, my God, he ran for 5. Instead, let's read it out within the time, which I know it's quick, make good decisions, and then go from there. And the only way you get good at that, right, Matt, is lots and lots of reps. We're going to talk about a guy here at the end of all this I was shocked when I watched him how much he had changed. But so that's the way you do it. And Tom Brady was great moving in the pocket. Why? He had no choice.
Right.
He wasn't going to run. And so just like Justin Fields and Russell Wilson years ago, but not now, they had 2 choices. I can either stand in and read it and throw to the open guy or just escape because it's getting a little muddy. And this is not what I do.
Right.
And I guess my whole point is here in Pittsburgh, a couple that before I start saying who I think should start and why and all the other things, is that they both have to be better at processing, finding the guy, throwing in rhythm, take the strain off the offensive line, throw the ball away, quit trying to scramble, then you take a sack and other troubles come too. But when you do scramble, be careful, get your yards, whatever. That's all good. But first you got to learn to do the processing of the play and do it better, because I don't think either one of them has done it well enough in the preseason for all of us to go, that's the guy.
Right.
So what do you think?
No, I would agree with that. I think both of them, really have shown their deficiencies really as far as adjusting to this new scheme that Arthur Smith has brought to the table. And I think that's part of it too. It is the preseason. There isn't a huge emphasis on game plan specific plays, right, and thoughts that go into what plays into Russell Wilson favorably, what plays into Justin Fields' game favorably. So we do see that lack or that disconnect, I feel like, a little bit as far as what we'll hopefully see executed at a higher level during the regular season. But I go back to what you were saying earlier, though. So Russell, yeah, he's had to adjust his game. Fortunately, too, we kind of saw a little bit of that a year ago with Sean Payton. We didn't see it to maybe the extent that we were expecting, but we did see him at least make the attempt to improve in that category of just being a better pocket passer.
Right.
Is it possible for Justin Fields, though, to continue to develop that skill set, knowing that he is, a fantastic athlete and has gotten away with passing up easy completions and scrambling and making plays and playing backyard football?
Couple things. First off, when you look at this game, Pittsburgh's going to Detroit to play the Lions. I don't think the Lions will play anybody.
Right.
They didn't in the first game I did when they were playing the Giants. I mean, it was 0 starters.
Yeah.
Probably going to do that again. And Arthur Smith, I know these coaches don't care. They'll say all that, but still you hear it. He is getting crushed because of what they've done these first 2 games. Like, oh, he's the coordinator. They're going to come right out and score 40 a game because he's there. But, yeah, he fits their franchise, what they love to do. But I would say this, Russell Wilson starting, I will be shocked if he doesn't have game plan plays in there for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields maybe too to play in this game against Detroit.
Okay.
Because they're going to make them look good, make people think we are a better offense than we're showing in preseason,
right,
and quit trying to hide everything. It's not like you're hiding it in the first game. They're going to go, oh, we've never seen that play in our life.
Yeah.
Of course what are they going to do in the NFL that hasn't been done already?
Well,
so,
and I
what
hope
do you
too,
think
just
about that? The whole thought process of Russell.
Stop hitting your mic. I mean, geez, you got 3 feet. You got 3 feet of space there, and you just look at how handsy you are. All right, come on.
As I would say, shut your ass up.
Okay, I don't know why you have to add that twang to it when you say that, but it's okay. All right, yeah, that's your Kentucky in you right there.
But it's something. I don't know what it is, but go ahead.
I guess the one thing that plays into the favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers, right, is the fact that they are going to be going against typically the 2s and the 3s for the Detroit Lions, since we don't see them projected to have their starters out there. So that plays into the hands of Russell Wilson, the offensive line, and just, playing a little bit more efficiently, knowing that they're not going against, the starters for the Detroit Lions. At this point, though, too, I don't know really what we're going to see in this final preseason game that all of a sudden just makes me feel all that better about the quarterback situation. I know that Tomlin has said that, according to him, in quotes, Russell's in the pole position, right, as the starting quarterback. And I think, too, just, doesn't really, I don't think, matter what happens here in preseason 3. I still think the best thing for the Steelers is to go ahead and have Russell Wilson just be named the starter now and just get it done and move on. And, I think just take pressure off of the entire group. And really just focus on, all right, now what can I do to develop what Russell does well? What can I do to slowly integrate all the aspects and the things that we can do athletically with Justin Fields if we have packages for week 1 to start the season, or to build throughout the year when we, maybe make that move if it's possible, if it happens that way?
Okay, well, we both agree. I think it would be Russell Wilson being the starting quarterback, unless his play in Detroit is just awful, which I just can't believe it will be, because I think he understands where he's at and what he has to do.
Yeah.
To the other thing, just about Justin Fields, it's one of those things when you're in practice, no matter what happens, the coaching staff, which I've heard coaches do this, and I've seen it myself with coaches I've had, they will tell quarterbacks, stand in there, make a decision, and throw the ball. Right. Don't scramble. We don't learn to do this. And you have to – and look, Justin Fields does it sometimes. I'm not saying that, but he doesn't do it enough. Right. He makes as I always say, I hear it a lot now. It's really interesting. We talk about you got to make all the routine throws. Yeah, you got to do that. When it's laid out there and it's easy for you, you just can't miss. And it just looks too hard sometimes to me when Justin Fields is in the drop back game, his decision making and throwing. But that's, look, he's high pick in the NFL draft. And a lot of it because he has a strong arm. He's an incredible athlete who can run.
Right.
But you got to kind of blend it together. Lamar Jackson has done a tremendous job of that. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, my question for you too is, do you think Arthur Smith, we haven't seen this in his past, right? Where when we discussed Greg Roman, we saw Greg Roman kind of find ways, he found ways to win and be successful, really, no matter who his quarterback was, whether he was with, Andrew Luck and Harbaugh at Stanford and running 3 tight end sets and all that kind of stuff, whether it was Alex Smith, whether it was Colin Kaepernick, Tyrod Taylor, and who was a fantastic pocket passer and a great deep ball thrower. And he really did a great job of utilizing what he did well in that game and mixing a little bit of, some of the things that he did athletically, throwing on the run as well. Do we have enough of a resume of Arthur Smith, though, to believe that he can build that same package or something similar to that for Justin Fields if he is, potentially named the starter?
I think without question he can. Just watching the Atlanta Falcons the last couple of years, the opportunities were there every single week for those guys, the quarterbacks. They just they weren't good enough or in a high percentage of the time, but doing the right thing, making the throw. I mean, the guys who would be open in Atlanta some games, they would throw it to them, but they would miss.
Right.
And, it was so – I know he has
that's the problem is that like Justin Fields hasn't been known to be a knock 'em dead thrower, in his career so far. So that's where I'm kind of like, where did the Steelers go with the direction of that offense? Is it a lot of gadget plays and then heavy quarterback run?
No.
That's where I'm like kind of curious to see like how they develop it and build it out.
No, it's going to come into. I think it's going to come to fruition where we start to really see what Arthur Smith is about. Hey, look, I saw him do it in Tennessee. I saw him do it in Atlanta. I saw the receivers get open. I saw all the the whatever you want to say, the things that a lot of teams in the NFL do. I saw that in his passing games. So I have no doubt about that. He's just got to get the quarterbacks to be more determined, more disciplined, and all this is about this. We're just voicing our opinion. Again, I'm going to just end it right here. I think Russell Wilson will be the starter because they see him as a short-term answer.
Right.
And I see Justin Fields as a backup. And, yes, they will have the quarterback runs in there when his time comes. But I think they also see Justin Fields as the long-term answer. Okay. So if you start him and got to pull him early because it's, just not going well at all, then there goes your long-term quarterback maybe.
Right.
So I think they'll play it safe. I think it'll be Russell Wilson. We could see some Justin Fields a little here and there. I think they'll even be careful with that too. Because don't you? I mean, if you bring him in there and do certain things and it's just special for him, then everybody's going, well, keep him in there all the time. We want to see more of that. Well, maybe there's not more of it. There's only a couple.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the good thing about Mike Tomlin too. He's not exactly one that I think is acts in a reactionary state that's trying to please people, right? And please people outside the building. I mean, he's one of the better ones, I think, in the NFL to really just say that I believe in this and this is what we're going to do. He does it as good as anybody. So that's where if Justin Fields helps you win, week 1 versus the Atlanta Falcons with having a good red zone, group of plays where he's running or RPOs or sprint outs or whatever, then you got to do it. You can't pass up on those situations.
Hey, last thing I'll say.
Yeah.
Can you change from what we see with certain quarterbacks where they turn into other ones? And in other words, being more patient in the pocket, doing all that, making the reads, going through it, and just understanding. And the only way you got to stand in there and do it and learn and progress that way. But we talked about it earlier this week, and I just got to bring it up again. Malik Willis would run if he saw even a hint of a running lane or I thought somebody was going to come and get me, and he was off to the races. And it was great preseason football for me to watch. Go, damn, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But they're doing nothing in the pass game. And watching him, the 2 games in preseason, I told you I had to check. Is that his number? Is that him?
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
He was reading across, making some really special reads. And of course, he has a strong arm and his motion looked good. And you know why? Because they trained his rear end the whole offseason. If you want to play in Callahan's offense and what they do, He's teaching the Joe Burrow offense, I'm sure.
Right.
And if you want to be part of this, you got to change. We want it done this way. Joe Burrow scrambles. You can too, but he does the dirty work first before he knows there's nothing there before he takes off.
Yeah. Well,
So
I mean, I think,
yeah.
Part of that too is, at least for Malik, projected as a first rounder. A lot of people thought that he was a lottery type pick type of talent, right, with his skill set. And what I think has really actually helped him a little bit is, it didn't go well early. And, we kind of made that judgment on him really quickly. And he fell kind of behind the curtain a little bit as far as like, all right, no one really was worried or concerned about it or putting on that pressure for him to be successful because we already kind of moved on and moved forward. And I think that really has, helped this young man where like, all right, there's no pressure anymore. I haven't lived up to the expectations at the moment. And the good thing is that I have a new head coach and a new coaching staff and a great offensive minded coaching staff that I think now is really instilling that natural belief back into him. And now he's playing free and a little bit more comfortable. Whereas with Justin Fields, because we have put so much on the shoulders of this young man, I think it's very difficult to say like, yeah, he's just really focused on the small nuances and building. Like, yeah, you can't say that he's not thinking a little bit about just like living up to the expectations that we put on him.
Sure. It's tough,
so,
yes.
I think that's a real thing. And also too, like I just, like Callahan, the Callahans in general, Callahan auto offense, I just believe in them. I just think they know how to coach it up really well.
Oh, they do.
Yes. I mean, if there's anyone that could sell 1 million brake pads, it's them. So, that
might be over everybody's head there, Matt.
Oh man, I mean, come on. If you ever seen Tommy Boy, I mean, what are you doing, man?
That's it.
Tommy just sold 500,000 brake pads. But I do really believe in them offensively, though, as far as just like being able to coach it up, right? All the experience that they had too, making it easy on the quarterback too with the running game that they have, right? Which has always been something that his father has done extremely well. And that's really, I think, the biggest question mark for me. I was really optimistic about Arthur Smith and the Steelers to kind of find that magic really quickly. It hasn't looked that way so far. And I understand what you're saying too. The Falcons, like they had people open. They weren't hitting them. But like that's a little bit of what's been Justin Fields' issue in his career so far is that he hasn't made the routine plays enough even when it is there. And I just don't know how quickly that can change for him, in preseason week 3 in the month of September, so it's like, that's why I'm not rushing the young man to play now. And I'd rather just let Russell go out there, let Russ cook and do his thing, formulate a way to win 21-14, as many times as possible and just get it done that way.
Yeah. Well said. If you want to get better at something, you got to practice it. You got to it's got to be real in practice. And then you apply it to the games.
Right.
And like I said, boy, I can't. Hopefully I'll be able to get this game on TV. I don't want to watch a replay of it because I just want to see everything we've talked about, see if it comes through. And, I feel better now. All right. I got it off my chest. We got a little off my chest. I got a lot of other things I'd like to do. But this is great.
I do like, though, what you were saying, though, and like having almost sections within your practice saying, okay, you are not allowed. As soon as you start to scramble, the play's over. Sack, done, and really just continue to build that connection with seeing the field, going through the read properly. All right, next play, do it again, and that's really, I think, the task for Arthur Smith is, can you find the 5 or 6 concepts that, both of your quarterbacks really feel super comfortable with, and then just run them a million different ways for your offense to be successful. And that's really what he's being asked to do, I think, with these two quarterbacks, given the situation.
You know what? Last thing, you can't win in the NFL unless you can throw the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
I know, run the ball, do this, no, that's all great. But when it comes down to it, you got to make the good throws on the big, whatever. The play's going to be presented to you. You only get so many opportunities a game to make plays down the field and do what we're talking about. And you got to take advantage of them. You can't be leaving the pocket early. Hey, you just can't. You got to hang in there and hit the play that really counts. So,
right.
Good job, Matt Sims. Thanks for coming over and doing this today.
Hey, thanks, Phil Simms. You're the best.
You're welcome. All
I
right.
appreciate it. Now go iron that T-shirt, player. All right.
Okay.
But
No,
hey, Sims Complete. That's all we got. Find us on the Believe Network. Available where podcasts are available. Follow Phil Simms on Twitter, on Instagram at PhilSimsQB11. Follow me at Sims Complete, Instagram and Twitter. And we'll be back with more action, I guess, after week 3 of the preseason with some of this quarterback talk. We'll see you next time. See ya.